Welcome back for another video. Today's topic is went vegan, got gas, all about digestion, the microbiome. So let's chat about that in this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to be talking about gas and bloating and digestion on a vegan diet, adding more fiber to our diets. But before we begin, please go check out our eBooks. Even if you're not raw, you do not have to be a raw vegan to enjoy more raw vegan meals in your life. We all know we should be adding more fiber, which is going to be a topic of the video, to our diets. We have 40% off code going right now. Raw Food 40 is the code. You can apply that at checkout and enjoy a discount on over 700 raw vegan recipes across all of our ebooks, and the code works on any of them. So go check those out. There's burgers, there's soups, there's stews, there's meal plans, there's informational books, all kinds of goodies in there. There's even a cravings video course as well. So check it out. The link is in the description box below. So tried vegan, got gas. That is something that happens very often for quite a few people, but it is not veganism that causes this. The thing is that a lot of people feel that if you go vegan, all of a sudden you're going to have perfect digestion, you're never going to die, you're never going to get sick, and for some reason we are expected to be perfect. We're expected to never age or anything like that. So the thing is, veganism, as I've mentioned before, is not a diet. Veganism is an ethical stand against the unnecessary exploitation of animals. So we choose vegan food because that aligns with our ethics and our morals. But there's a lot of food out there that isn't really that healthy, but carries the vegan label. So things like Oreos or Doritos sweet chili heat chips, like some stuff is accidentally vegan because there are no animal products in it, but that doesn't automatically make it healthy for us. So that, for one, is something to keep in mind, because it is not veganism that causes the gas and bloating. It's the types of foods that people have eaten in the past, how their microbiome is currently, and what kinds of vegan foods that they're eating now. So if a person is coming from a diet that is very low in fiber, very low in fruits and vegetables, very high in processed foods, animal products, and oils, then their gut microbiome is probably going to be very challenged when they start to increase their fiber intake. So again, it has nothing to do with veganism, but the foods that we choose will make a big difference in our health overall. We have to work with our guts, not against them. So dumping a huge amount of fiber into your body when you've come from a diet of super low fiber is going to, for lack of a better word, shock your microbiome. And again, I have to really drive this home. That is not the fiber that's causing the problem. It's the microbiome that is weak. So it's like going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you can't just go in the gym and start lifting 80-pound weights. You got to start slow, especially if you haven't gone to the gym in a really long time. Like fiber, we got to start slow. And I highly, highly recommend checking out some books by Dr. Will Bulsiewicz. And he's got his fiber-fueled book and the fiber-fueled cookbook that has some vegan recipes in there. They're not raw, but they're healthy vegan recipes that you can start to add into your diet. And he goes over how to introduce higher fiber foods to your diet to build your microbiome so that you are able to eat high fiber foods without all of that discomfort. Now, one thing that people feel is kind of unnecessary is gas. And unfortunately, gas is completely normal. It's the excessive amount of gas and the pain that comes with it that is not normal. So gas is completely normal. You're passing gas anyways every day. It's just totally, completely natural. It's part of digestion, even if you're just eating all fruits, which I don't recommend, but you're still producing some form of gas. Your microbiome is eating the fibers, converting them into things, and their byproduct is gas. So it's totally normal to have a little bit of gas There's no such thing as perfect, flawless digestion where you never pass gas ever again for the rest of your life. So that's something that I find people are so kind of obsessed with getting rid of all the gas, but it's completely normal. It's part of digestion. And gas actually is a signal that your microbiome is trying to work. It's just when it goes excessive and it starts to get painful, you know that you've just overdone the amount of fiber. You've included way too much fiber or too many varieties, and you're not quite used to it yet. That's the thing. You got to get used to it. You got to take your time, go slow, add the variety a lot slower, and add smaller amounts. So some people feel like when they eat beans or broccoli, if they get gas and bloating and it's painful, all of a sudden beans and broccoli aren't human food. But this isn't true. They are human food. It's just that their gut microbiome is currently in dysbiosis and they ate too much beans and broccoli, and now they are having pain because their microbiome is like, ooh, we can't handle all of this. Like, why'd you give us so much all at once? So we gotta go slow. We gotta work with our bodies, as I mentioned. So eat foods that you feel good with, making sure that you're getting enough calories for the day and you're eating a decent variety of foods, but eat foods that feel comfortable right now, and then slowly add in the foods that may be causing issues. So for example, if beans or lentil sprouts or what have you are causing issues, start slower. Don't eat a whole can of them. Don't make a whole pot of them all at once. Add a little bit to your salad or whatever meal that you make that feels comfortable right now. Add a small amount every day or every second day, and then over time you can increase the amount of beans that you're eating to a comfortable level. Work with your gut. It's just like going to the gym. You start off with the 5 pounds, you move up to the 8, then you move up to the 10s, and then the 12s, and then eventually you can get to the 50s, but you just don't start off right away at the 50s. You may not even get to the 50s, but the whole goal is to add more and to be more consistent with those foods. So aside from that, there are mechanics that go on in our body that contribute to digestion or contribute to gas and bloating. The number one top thing that I think most people neglect is chewing. So even though you may be eating healthy foods like beans and broccoli, if you don't chew them properly, then you're gonna have issues. Even fruit, if you're not chewing the fruit, you're not gonna get the full benefit of the fruit because you might be swallowing half whole and your stomach is like, you were supposed to chew. Digestion begins in the mouth. We have in our saliva enzymes that help to digest our food before it even gets to the stomach. So we need to mix our saliva with the food that we're eating to start the digestive process. A lot of people miss this. They just chew a couple times and swallow a lot of stuff whole. Like I get people who say, I see pieces of corn in my stools, so I can't digest corn. And it's like, well, it's not that you can't digest corn, it's that you didn't chew that corn. You didn't chew it at all. It was whole right in your stool. So your body was like, meh, I can't chew it when it gets in the stomach. The stomach doesn't have teeth. That's what happens up here. So chew your food thoroughly. Chew it thoroughly. It's going to make a big difference in your digestion. Even eating high fiber foods, we have to eat well. We have to chew well. That's one big thing that's going to make a big difference for people who have gas and bloating. The second thing is to move your body after eating. There is a story that I'd like to share, and Nate and I went on this salad kick. It was mahini curry, the salad dressing. It's like a tahini mango curry dressing. And the recipe is in Meal Plan Volume 3. But when I made Meal Plan Volume 3, I was hooked on that dressing. We ate it all the time. And he came up to Canada when I was living in Canada to visit me. And for like 5 days straight, we had mahini curry every single night because it was just so good. We were having it on like zoodles and different kinds of salads, and it was delicious. The last night that we had it, and we had no problems digesting this meal for those 4 or 5 days that we had it. But the last night that we had it, we actually went to a friend's place and we brought extra for them to have some of the salad as well. We ate the exact same salad ingredients that we were having all week, and we never had a problem with it. But because we were eating at our friend's house, We ate the salad and we talked throughout the entire time. We're like not really paying attention to chewing and swallowing and the mechanics of digestion. So we're swallowing a lot of air, we're not chewing properly. And then we sat for like 2 hours after eating at the kitchen table, and we just were playing cards and talking and whatever. And after, I stood up and I was like, oh, that felt like a rock. Like my digestion was just stopped, and it was not the food. A lot of people will say like, oh, well, maybe it was the food that you ate. No, a lot of the times it's the mechanics of digestion. Sitting for long periods of time after eating, even if you just ate a really simple bowl of fruit, can cause a rock in your stomach because you need to get up and move. We need to stop talking so much while we're eating. We need to stop drinking a lot of water during mealtime. Like if you need a little sip or two, that's fine. But drinking a huge amount of water, washing it all down, is going to dilute your stomach juices. So drinking water is best between meals, first thing in the morning and between meals. That's the best time to drink a lot of the water that you need. But during meals, it's best not to, so that your stomach juices are really strong. Chew your food really well. When we're talking and hanging out with friends and family, it's typical that we don't really chew very well. So all of these things piled on top of each other, plus the high amount of fiber, can cause discomfort. But we have to really slow down, pay attention to our mealtime, pray before eating. And another thing is stress. If you go into mealtime and you're super stressed out, it's going to be harder to digest that meal because your body is like in a state of fight or flight. It's not prepared to digest your meal. If you are stressed out and it is dinner time and you know that you need to eat, take like 5 or 10 minutes and meditate. Get into a really peaceful state, or deal with the problem, or what have you, whatever you need to do to get into a state of peace. And this is why praying over our food or practicing gratitude over our food is really helpful, because it zones in our focus to eating. And we have to be a lot more focused while we're eating so that we can enjoy better digestion. And again, there's no like level of perfection with digestion. It's always just progress and seeing what feels best for the body. So chew well, don't talk during eating, get up and move, take a walk. If you are with friends, get up off the kitchen table and go for a walk and hang out in the forest or nature or whatever, and get moving so that your digestive tract is working and everything's mixing together and things are flowing. Because when you're sit and you're crunched, that can create a blockage with the digestion flow. So get up and walk and start slow with your fiber. So these are some tips. Another tip that I wanted to share was swap your blender out for a vacuum blender. If you're using a Vitamix, you can swap out for the BioChef. That's the one that Nate and I use. But the thing is, when you blend stuff, so smoothies and dressings and raw soups and all the other stuff that we blend, you're blending air into whatever you're making. And then you drink that, like especially smoothies. You're blending so much air into the smoothie and then you're drinking all of that air. The air's gotta go somewhere and likely you're gonna come out the other end. So if you want to limit the amount of gas that you have, all the extra air that you're drinking, swap to a vacuum blender. The BioChef attachment that you can get from John Kohler's website, that works on the old school Vitamix bases, and you can get those used or refurbished. It does not work on the Ascent series, like the new series with the Bluetooth and all that stuff. It doesn't fit on that base, but if you do have an older base, they do work on that one and they work really well. They vacuum out all the air. You have better color on your food. It's not as oxidized and it tastes better. And it's better consistency too, because you're not drinking all this air. So it's like thicker, more like silky creamy instead of like airy and fluffy. Really great. It makes a big difference, especially for those who have issues with gas and bloating. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, it is not veganism. It is the foods that you're choosing and your gut microbiome and working with your body. So veganism isn't the problem. Veganism is simply an ethical stance against animal exploitation. And there's a lot of foods that you can eat that are vegan, and there's a lot of things you can do that can improve your digestion. Get your gut microbiome tested if you can and see where you're at there. See what kind of foods are recommended to growing your personal microbiome. Jerusalem artichoke and asparagus, chicory, garlic, onions. Those are all great microbiome foods, but all plant foods are going to be beneficial for your microbiome, adding more variety and going slow. So check out those books, Fiber Fueled by Dr. Will Bulsiewicz, and those are amazing books on how to increase your fiber and improve your digestion, even if you have like histamine intolerance or food intolerances or anything like IBS, all that kind of stuff. He talks about it all in his books. It's really, really great. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please click like. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the little bell and you'll get notifications sent directly to you whenever I post a new video. And we have 40% off all of our ebooks. So there's over 700 raw vegan oil-free recipes in there, from burgers to soups to tacos, holiday food, and there's meal plans, there's informational books, all kinds of stuff, all 40% off. The code is rawfood40. So the link in the description box below or right here on the screen, and you can enjoy some of that. Until the next video, guys, I hope you loved this one again, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I love you, and fruit on.